Let me put on some real shit that will end up blowing mine. It's real shit, yeah. Let me take you to the city where you're gonna go mad, yeah. Let me show you the places where the real shit's alive. Real shit, yeah. Turn up the sound, you better get down. Listen to this, let's try to turn it around. Feel the beat inside your heart. Are you gonna dance hard now or
All right, everyone, here we are. Are we gonna dance now? Oh, hold on, Fred can hear me. All right, there we
there we
go.
go, now I can hear you.
That was a very nice song. Good job, Fred. That
Thank you,
song was
thank you.
written and sang by Fred,
Yeah, it's
surprisingly.
my little hobby on the side.
Yeah,
Anyways,
everyone's entitled to hobbies. Anyways, how's everyone doing this evening or afternoon, depending where you're from? Hey, please add a volume for trade music, please.
does he mean the trade lounge music?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe we can just maybe we can just make that you can change the ambient sound or something. Because they're all ambient sounds, guys.
oh
So
yeah, true.
changing
We could add
that,
like an ambient sound
yeah. So,
modifier.
but the thing is, whenever you go back to official servers or private servers, whatever suits you, you're gonna hear everything also in lower volume.
We could just add the lounge music into a music category kind of thing, like in-game music, where and then we can have it some volume slider. That would be pretty cool.
Maybe you can just remove the song from Fade Lounge. Well,
Yeah, but
that's
that
up to.
song it
Yeah.
has history, you know. It's like it has a legacy. We can't just like remove it, you know. It's
Hey guys, Chupa here.
yeah.
All right. Anyways, the main topic for this Q&A today, as we announced, is to discuss a little bit of the deathmatch PvP mode that's coming up. We've had initial, of course, internal conversations about this between the development team, the ideas. Then I brought the concept that we had to the community. The community has given us feedback, and we're gonna work from there. All right. I kind of told Fred a little bit about the ideas, the general ideas on the changes. Okay, so there might be some one thing or another that we haven't necessarily agreed on yet. All right. Well, the main idea behind it is that we have warm up servers, we have competitive servers, we have PvP servers, which are fairly similar, or at least fairly similar public. You know, the people who like one likes the other, and they like one aspect of one and dislike one aspect of the other. So we're gonna try and combine them all into one big um, game mode.
One game mode. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
in a simpler way. The initial was to have it first as a deathmatch server. Okay, so you join in either with friends or not. You can group people in the server to a limit, of course, and it works like a deathmatch, like the very similar to what PvP servers are right now. With a few tweaks, like for example, you won't lose your gear. There's going to be a separate reputation table just for those servers. You don't choose the server you're joining, so you join whatever server is on queue. And this in a similar system to Battle Royale. The difference from this system, joining system, to Battle Royale, essentially, like the main difference, is that you instantly join a server. You don't need to wait for a lobby to be open. You know, if a server's full, you join the next one, and it almost, yeah, it's instant. You don't need a group. You can join always
You're,
single, solo, or whatever you want to call it. You know, alone, forever alone. And that's the idea with the deathmatch. And within that, we're gonna have a now. There are two things that we're considering, which is a team deathmatch, which would be pretty much four teams of five fighting against each other for a limit of time. Period. Nothing else. Okay.
and then there would be like perhaps a score point system of some sort. For example, say you get a bunch of kills and I don't know, and then yeah, and that's like, for example, a kill is a point. You know, one prayer kind of thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
and then we have the basic competitive style, which would be two teams facing each other, 5v5.
yeah, basically the same competitive we have
Yeah,
today.
the same idea. We're not so sure yet about the objective system. Okay.
All right, man. So yeah.
Yeah. See you where. Yeah. So we're not really sure about if we're gonna have a specific objective or if it's just gonna be time based, and yeah, you guys have to fight, because the
But
objective does help people to actually do something, but it doesn't seem to be how can I say, fun, you know, like having that kind of objective.
yeah, there's one thing I wanted to mention as well regarding this. When we first released Battle Royale, it was a pretty. I mean, it was really simple. It didn't have much more to it, you know. Same thing with what's it? When we released competitive, we instead decided to do the complete opposite. We went all in and we tried to do as full of a game as possible in as little time as possible. And I think that's one of the reasons competitive never took off the way it should. Simply because competitive just maybe perhaps wasn't designed in the way players want to play it. The thing is, we received a lot of feedback from competitive, but it's all super inconclusive. Like I don't know, it's kind of weird. Um, but the idea would be to release something, well, relatively simple but fun. You know, you guys liked your warm up back in the days. You guys like your PvP service. People don't really play them right now because it's I can't find the non-swear word to define it, but it's a bit of a fiesta right now.
Right.
So we want to somehow take that and bring back a bit of that PvP feeling that people used to love back in the days when the PvP servers, I don't know, we had like what, 20 and they were all full. It was crazy. And perhaps try to do some kind of game mode which combines all these smaller game modes, sub game modes of arcade, which are PvP, warm up, and try to get them all into one place where we can get more popped servers as well. So the plan is essentially we start with something basic, something simple, that's easy to make, but also at the end of the day, it's easy to change because there's not too many pieces in the puzzle. So essentially we're gonna start with like basically a super basic warm up, and then with you guys' help and feedback, we're gonna move it into more of I wouldn't say competitive mode, but yeah, into perhaps adding leaderboards and all this kind of stuff that you guys like. But it's extremely hard to get it right if we try to do the whole game mode at once. And I think the best thing we can do is simply just like, create, like I said, a base where you guys can try it out, give feedback, and then every 2 weeks or so we'll just keep changing it, keep adapting it, keep adding stuff. We add leaderboards, we add points, perhaps even ranks, and stuff like that. I think it could be. I think that's the best path to take, but yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, because PvP servers, they do serve their purpose. They are fun in a way, but they get repetitive, especially the way we rotate maps right now, right? Which is pretty much like every week, every 2 weeks, we rotate the maps on the PvP servers. So it does get kind of, I'm not going to say boring, but it does get repetitive. And one of the ideas was also at the end of the deathmatch. This we're talking about the two deathmatch modes, okay? Either team deathmatch or solo deathmatch. Is at the end of the round that is going to be defined. Either a player gets to a certain number of kills, or a team gets to a certain number of kills, or time, or we can have either or. You can have it, okay, so whoever gets to 30 kills first, or if it's 30 minutes, then pop up with a few map options pop up.
Yeah.
People vote on it, and they can, of course, choose to select and stay on the same map. That's always going to be an option, but it's going to end up being a vote that is just going to be sorry. Yeah, it's just going to be up to the players and the server to choose what map they want to go to.
Yeah.
One other thing that we've been discussing a lot within the team and with the community, and came up, and it was kind of I'm not going to say stressful, but we couldn't reach a consensus, was reputation. Ideally, just remember, okay, focus on the word ideally here, would be for reputation to be a completely new reputation system, okay? So you have new rank names, new everything. Everyone starts off there with the same reputation, okay?
Yeah. I mean, at the
Or
end of the day, we're gonna use the competitive character, I think, for that, and nobody has any reputation in their competitive characters. But I think the thing about reputation is the reason people like reputation is because it's essentially a system that rewards you for killing people, and
it's
the
more
better
about
or the
the
more.
amount of kills.
Exactly. But not only that, you see, if you kill a civilian, you're only gonna get a little bit of rep. Whereas if you kill like a higher rank, you get lots of rep, right? That's how the system works. And that's I think we should design when we work on the elo system for this. We're gonna work on the elo system that's gonna, obviously the kills are gonna matter, but also who you kill, depending on their elo, is going to affect your elo differently. And by using an elo system, we'll be able to have leaderboards where people can fight themselves to the top, right? But the good thing about elo is that it doesn't get bloated. If you look at reputation, for example, imagine you've been playing this game for, I don't know, 5 years or something. I mean, your reputation is off the charts. I mean, it doesn't even fit because of all the zeros, and that's kind of what happens in New Z right now. People have so much rep that if a new beginner, that's why we added the seasonal and the weekly, monthly leaderboards, because if you're a new player and you want to fight to get on some kind of leaderboard, you're not going to be able to, because there's people who have been playing for literally like 6 years, you
Yeah.
know? And I think
And I don't like the system that you can gain and lose rep differently. The way
no,
it
no,
is.
this
It's
is
gonna
no
be
exactly.
either positive or negative. It can't go either positive or either negative. I think that's
Yeah,
not.
exactly. And I think the best way to do this is to create 2 point systems. We've got the hidden elo, which is basically just a number that uses various, data and calculates an average of more or less where your skill level sits. And over time, that elo is gonna adjust like all the time, right? It's gonna keep adjusting, keep adjusting, keep adjusting. And then obviously, if you kill players who are a lot worse than you, you're not gonna get as many points. Whereas if you kill players who are equal or a lot better, you're gonna get more points. You see, but this is, but no, I find no, we won't need to reset the rep because this is gonna be in a completely different character. Everyone's gonna start from 0. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be separate. It's gonna be completely separated from the
yeah,
reputation. Even if we
exactly.
use the same characters, they're gonna have different one for
Le-
PvP servers. Okay,
yeah,
but ideally, it would just go to competitive system with battle royale system with everyone full gear. That would give players, newer players, returning players, the chance of always playing full skill and not having any issues with that or anything like that.
yeah. No, skill tree will not be a thing on this new game mode. We'll either just give everybody a full skill tree by default because people are used to playing with full skill tree. Otherwise, the weapon damages feel like off, right?
Yeah.
Kind of the same we did in Battle Royale. People didn't like the fact that they didn't have enough sprint and all that stuff. But the whole idea is to have a okay. This is just an idea I got right now, right? But imagine that you have a point system called like skill points, yeah, and that's what the leaderboard is based around. And essentially, the skill points just define. Um, it's just to do with your kills, right? But then at the end of every match, you're gonna have a hidden elo as well. So hopefully, we're gonna try to build because right now the elo systems in arcade is not that good, but the one in competitive is actually pretty decent. So we're gonna use the standard elo system, which every competitive game uses, to be able to match people's skill better.
Yeah, in the beginning, just so we are clear, guys, until this is active and people are actively playing it, there's no point
Right.
on us separating lobbies. But the plan in the future is for you to always try and find lobbies automatically
Yeah,
according to
that
your
match
elo.
with exactly because admit it. If you match with someone who is a lot better than you, you're just gonna get destroyed, and it's no fun. If you match with people who are a lot worse than you, yeah, it's fun for maybe like 5 minutes, but then you're gonna get bored because it won't be any challenge, right? So that's why the most fun is to match with people who are around your level, um, and that way everyone has a fair game, and I think it's the best. But this is something we're gonna just keep the statistics on in the beginning. Like I said, if this, like Chupa said, if there is no interest and nobody wants to pay attention, just like for example with competitive. I mean, there are a lot of competitive games happening mainly in Asia. I don't know why, but in Europe it's essentially nobody really queues, and probably because it's boring to queue. Um, but yeah, we won't be making it extremely complicated and extremely complex, and unless there's a demand for it. So that's why we're gonna start little and build up on that, and then hopefully we can create some kind of game that you guys love and that would grow the game. Some people want to PvP, they don't want to loot, they don't want to, they just want to use their snipers or use their ARs, they don't want to loot. So let's make something even better for them than arcade already is, essentially. That's
Yeah.
that's the idea.
Let me just address some of the things that people are asking. Is farming rep illegal? Yes, and it's going to be in this game mode. There's going to be a system where you will only be able to gain if there are X amount of players on that server. The leaderboard will end. No, it won't. It will continue as it is, regardless. There's going to be a separate leaderboard just for that game mode, obviously, like we have for PvP. It might be if we intend to use the system with the ranking or the elo, but there will be a leaderboard for that. Yes, period. Okay, there will be a leaderboard regardless of what system we choose. This guy asked, why am I shaking this much? It's because I have severe anxiety problems, and so I shake my legs all the time, like 24/7. Dragoon asked if we're gonna need to loot in the GI, need loot in the GI to play this mode. So initially, we had the idea of the answer being yes, but you won't lose it. It would work like the warm up system. But there's also the idea of having it like presets, like Call of Duty has. Okay. And I saw you wrote something below, which was also a great idea, like it is in Call of Duty, right? You know, that the higher level you reach, the more guns you unlock. Okay. So,
I mean,
or attachments or stuff.
yeah, that's actually a really cool idea. But what I think, okay, look at it from I mean, from where I see this, we're trying to develop a game aimed at competitive players within our community, right? And therefore, if you add any kind of skill tree, leveling systems, and stuff like that, again, you're punishing the players who have played less in a game. What we could do is we could add, for example, uh, sorry about that. No, we could add, for instance, a level system that allows you to unlock stuff periodically, but it's just something used in the beginning. So it's only up to like level 10 or level 30, and then once you reach level 30, that's it. There's no more unlocks. And that way, it's a short level up that anybody can do. A bit like if you guys have played League before, if you wanted to play ranked back in the days, you had to reach level 30 to be able to unlock all your runes and whatnot, Um, and yeah.
Yeah, so essentially, short answer to that, technically you will need at least one to start with, but we're not sure, okay, how it is gonna be, but you won't lose your stuff on PvP servers.
Yeah.
All right,
In the beginning, we might just add so you can bring in your own items, just to make
like
the
warm up.
system easy. Yeah, like warm up, and then or even better, just select one of your loadouts, right? Like save a loadout and then be able to use that one
Yeah,
infinitely and stuff. But then obviously in the future, what we can do is we can have something like warm up loadout pages where you create like your little GI, right? And you can only have maybe a max of, I don't know, a bunch of GIs, and then you level up, and then you get more GIs, and then at the beginning of each round, you get to select your loadout, for example, and then that's what you play with. And obviously, we're gonna have we should have unlimited ammo, stuff like that. Maybe unlimited meds, as long as we adjust the cooldown properly and everything, stuff like that.
As just said, I'm just surprised you haven't realized that add-ons or cool new features won't bring back the hype. This specifically, this is what we're talking about, is not the idea of bringing the hype back. It's just to please the current players.
Yeah,
Whenever if you work with development of anything in your life, Ash, you will know that there are different areas you need to act on. One of them is new players, of course, and hyping and bringing explosive new content. But one is also quality of life stuff, which is pretty much things that will work just to please your current
yeah.
communities, and that's the
Just
idea.
like the UI, where you can select this old survival HUD little guy, We added that just because it makes our current players happy, and I mean, it was a simple thing to do from my end. I just had to reskin the little, health thing, and that's it. And stuff like that. I mean, it keeps the players happy, and just like Chupa said, you have to take care of your current. And this goes for any business, as far as I'm concerned. You have to take care of your current players or customers, and you have to make sure the issues are fixed. And at the same time, you have to bring new stuff, and at the same time, trying to get the game to grow. And it's a lot of things, and we're a small development team. We can't possibly do all these things at the same time. So right now we're choosing on working on a game mode that I think is gonna make it a lot of fun for our current players, and in turn, hopefully, our current players are gonna want to play more, which means they're gonna bring their friends over and stuff like that to play that with them as well. And that could actually cause the game to grow. But a lot of people keep talking about wiping or releasing a Warzy. We've tried that, honestly. Last time we did a wipe, we lost like half of the player base.
Yeah. People don't want to lose what they have.
Yeah.
All right, let me just address some stuff here, guys. Guys, right now we're only talking about the deathmatch. Okay, don't worry. We will work in the future, of course, but we will bring new stuff to every aspect of the game, as we've always done. Sometimes it's not, and now we're getting the community completely involved. We're gonna keep doing it like I did with this one. But the idea is like Senate said, more mobs, more missions, more quests, actual quests, more complex missions. I've had this idea, we've talked about it, we had issues with FPS when we were trying to think of a way. But a locked area where you have to go, there's zombies, there's super zombies, kind of like a maze style place, and there's no jump up, there's no shields, you just gotta fucking go in, bring your friends. And then at the end of that place, there is like an area with special loot and stuff like that. So let's take. All right. So do you guys understand? Do you guys have any ideas, any questions about this specific game mode that we're discussing? Oh yeah, Dragon asked about motivation to play the mode. Well, there are different ways of looking at it. We can. Obviously, the simple idea behind this would be monthly leaderboard with a skin reward at the end of it. The problem with that is, okay, if we do it, for example, this has happened before in many of the events we did like that with leaderboards. After a week, you're far behind, you're not even going to try it. So you lose your motivation. So you try to motivate all the players, and then after a week, it's already down to less than half. After 2 weeks, it's down to like 1/10 of the players. So, you are right, Dragon, in the sense that we need to find a way to motivate players to keep grinding.
Right.
And,
I have a proposal on how we can fix the leaderboard issue.
Yeah.
But this is going to be extremely controversial, and I don't think it will be applicable to either arcade or survival. Then the reason why is because people don't want to lose their current progress. But in this new game mode, since we're starting essentially something separate from these two game modes, right? What we can do is we can create a shifting skill point system. So instead of having reputation, let's say we create SK skill or SP or whatever skill points. And what we do is we make it so that your skill points depend on your current performance, and also like within the past amount of days. So for example, if you were to AFK for a long time, your skill is essentially your skill level is going to drop a bit, allowing for players who are actively playing to reach the top of the leaderboards. That way, you have a constant refresh on the leaderboards, where there's no like forever top. You see what I mean? It's constantly refreshing with new ranks, not new ranks, but like new statistics, and constantly adapting to the game mode. And I think it's like, I think it would be like honestly the best solution, because then you have a constant, never-ending progress, and you're basically constantly competing against other players, essentially.
Sorry, I just need to send a quick message. Alright. Okay, it's sent. Yeah. All right. So remember, guys, this is all points of discussion. Everything we're discussing here are things that we initially, this is something Fred and I thought about a few months back. Then we discussed with the whole team about the ideas on how to do it. Then I brought it to the community. I brought it back to Fred and Silent. God. So yeah. I just explained everyone how the deathmatch is, and this guy new deathmatch like a PUBG deathmatch. I don't even what's
Base,
PUBG deathmatch.
I think it's just like similar to CS:GO. I could be wrong though.
Oh yeah,
Essentially,
yeah.
like similar, with point system, maybe leaderboards. But for those who just joined us, the idea is simply we just start with something simple and then work on it if it gets attention from you guys, if you guys like it. Otherwise, there's no point. We might on spending months on a huge project, and then in the end nobody plays it. Like for example, what happened with competitive. So we're gonna try to do competitive again, but it's gonna be deathmatch styled, and it's gonna be built on by you guys, basically.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to do.
That's the idea.
Yeah. So you guys understand the concept, the ideas, and like Dragon brought up, with the loot. He brought up already a good idea with level up and unlocking at least attachments. In the beginning, we can do that with attachments later on.
Yeah, that sounds like a nice idea.
New maps in deathmatch, yeah, maybe. The idea is to have all authentic maps. We are gonna use in the rotation current maps that we currently have, but the idea is to add new small maps for it as well. Again, like I just typed that we're gonna answer first about this, and then we'll discuss.
Yeah. But are there any more questions regarding this new game mode?
Yeah,
Or you guys want to move on to all kinds of questions?
All right. All right.
Well,
moving on. All right, guys. So questions, general questions.
yes,
about
Freddy D.
anything.
That's the idea. Obviously, we're gonna have to limit medics and shields so they can't be, absolutely spammed and abused. But that's
But they're
the
not
idea.
gonna be like in warm up that you bring it and they go away.
No.
There is gonna be a limit. For example, every time you can get 4 or 5 shields, and then you need to die to get new ones. Otherwise, it's just gonna be
that would be that would be
Otherwise, the maps are gonna be just shields everywhere. All right.
Droopy Pencil. You need to claim it in your whatever in your Twitch as well.
All right.
Let's see. There was another question.
I wanted also to ask about small streamers that are not at the moment partner, but still stream the game. Can we still request stuff for content? Yes, you can. Just contact me on Discord.
Oh,
and
sorry, I deleted your message by accident. Yeah, my bad.
Okay.
Sorry, man.
Can we go back? Maybe I can read it. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, basically, the idea is to hopefully have you guys do a beta test on it, and then we do first a closed beta, then an open beta, and then hopefully aim for a full release once we feel we're comfortable with what we are showing, basically.
The night market. Yeah, I saw something about the night market in Valorant recently, and I like the idea. So randomly every night, in a part of the day, Fred, there's like random discounts on the store, or
Oh,
every
really?
kind of thing. Like even their most expensive skins go randomly on a 50% discount out of nowhere. I don't know if it's every day how it works, but it just randomly happens and people buy it or not, which I really liked it.
Yeah. I mean, I actually haven't played War Inc. But if it's any like indication, um, we could essentially as well shift the game mode into a War Inc. if that's what people want. At the end of the day, we want to create a game mode that people are gonna play. I don't want to sit here a bunch of hours a day, typing in code and stuff like I did with competitive, and then have nobody play it.
Yeah, that's why we're keeping this mode as simple as possible, trying to use as much concepts of other game modes as possible to
Yeah,
minimize it. So, like Banana Joe just asked, if this is the huge update for the year. Hopefully not. Hopefully this is a medium-sized one, and we can bring something. The problem is it's not as simple, as in just here, take this. It takes time to develop, come up with ideas, discuss this with the community, and all of that. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But
So yeah, we
I'm
don't.
gonna
We
I'm
do plan
gonna
on bringing more relevant changes this year still. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Genetics. You can basically take the
That's
competitive
yeah,
mode, rework it. Yeah. And like I said, use the system from PvP servers, add functionalities from warm up. Yeah, that's the idea. That's literally the idea. That's how we just want to, bring that back.
yeah,
We spawn with guns, or we need to buy like you spawn with guns, spawn with guns. Yes, you spawn with guns. Yes. Yeah, like Jin. God, why this guy keeps talking about this clan using cheats? Just if you think someone's cheating, report them in game. Our anti-cheat is extremely effective. Okay, if they're cheating, they will be banned. Period. The sniper event the last weekend was the first time I saw 50 or 60 in Battle Royale. Yeah, that's something that I noticed as well. And Battle Royale does need, I'm not going to say like a change, but it does need some motivation for people. Fred and I already talked about a few things that we can change, major. I'm not going to say major, but bigger changes, bigger than usual changes to it. And there's also stuff that Steve and I can do to it that can try. But yeah. The concept of this game is unique. I'll be a regular player if only you fix those issues. Fixing the high ping issues, hit compensation, and not allowing very high pings. Well, we do have ping limited servers and the new netcode system in the servers, which is already a fix for that. And the problem is, people choose not to use those servers. SA servers have no ping issues recently. I've been monitoring it. There is an FPS issue in Clearview, but that's map related. It's because of the amount of people in shields in that area that is just spammed. That's something that we're also looking into. But ping issues with the if you're having ping issues in SA and Hong Kong at the same time, It's clearly not the server since they are in different regions with different providers. Okay, so the issue is 100% not there.
I mean, you guys keep talking about the ping issue, but honestly, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I play
I don't know about Hong Kong, but SA there's been,
maybe in
of
Hong
course
Kong, yeah.
there were moments, there were like, I'm not saying that it never happened, but I'm saying it's not something like this guy's putting it as something regular.
Mainly SA.
All right, we'll take a look.
What do you mean, Powix? What I think? What? That doesn't make any.
What?
Fred, what do you think with your anti-cheat?
Oh, he's asking what do you think about your anti-cheat? Yeah.
What I think about my own anti-cheat?
I mean,
Like,
that's
you
kind
want
of
me to give
stupid.
you an unbiased answer? Like, it's.
What about survival? Do you have plans to make it great again? I mean, marketing this game mode? Yes, that's always in the plans. But it's unfortunate it's not that simple. But yeah, the idea is to. Because survival is a great game mode that is still extremely unique to anything else in the game industry, still. Regardless, it's an 8-year-old game, but survival the way it is right now, especially, it's or the way it was because we kind of revived it, is extremely unique. You can't find many games similar to that with the mechanics. um Fix Hong Kong server, but it's too much laggy. All right, we're gonna get contact Raphael and see if there are issues there. But we gotta see, guys. Please try to contact me or Silent whenever you see an issue with the ping, so we can monitor. Because there's no way for us to check and then you say, oh, it was last night. Like last night for me was different from Fred, which was different from you. All right, sorry, Silent already answered that. Okay, let me just ban this guy. Thanks. What happens is that people from BR play with max 30 ms, but someone with 100 ms sees everything lag and reconnecting issues. 100 still good ms, but not in SA. I see what you mean. Well, you have high ping, and you complain about lag.
The
That's
thing
how it is
is,
everywhere. The thing is, the people who are like, let's say, the Brazilians, like as you mentioned them, the Brazilians who go to European servers, and I can attest to that, they're used to playing that high ping, and you're not used to playing high ping because the biggest ping you had before was 100 to NA servers. So it's kind of yeah. Genetic says if it's possible to release the game on console. No, it's not.
not in the current engine anyway.
Could you add a button like sword inventory, but to clip all the guns of the GI? Is this
I mean,
possible?
slow the guns, yeah. The problem with that, Mike Gordon, is that if, for example, if you have like 100 M4s, okay, but you only have 99 Stanegs, what happens to the last M4? Is it just gonna be there unloaded? Because that's gonna look really bad on your GI. So that's why when I thought about doing that, I was like, oh wait, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But I mean, if you guys want it like that it tries to load. I can add a separate button that loads all the weapons automatically, as many as possible. But for example, it's not gonna be easy. I mean, the sword GI was a nightmare to make. Because because of technical reasons, the way our database works and everything. But yeah.
No, Hudson, there's no use in sending screenshots. Just tell us what server you're in, and when
Yeah.
it happens. That way we can, as soon as it happens, not like 5 hours later. I gotta see when it happens, what's happening on that server. What about if you put cards, then you disconnect and you're back and your card's already blown? Well, the car has a system which is annoying, but the timer of the car, the time for the car to despawn, instead of just making it disappear, it just lowers its durability and then it's slow. So it feels like it's abandoned.
Cars have feelings too.
Remake of this game in a new engine, which allows cross. Yeah, I mean that's in the ideal world. That would be, a new engine would be perfect. Please make GC and private server more expensive. No, that's the first. Please make GC more expensive, Fred. Somebody just asked you to do that.
To what? Make skins more expensive.
GC more expensive.
Why?
I don't know. How you want to balance arcade mode after the deathmatch mode release? It's sniper only at the moment, and all the other weapons useless for the game mode get you.
I mean, that's why we have survival as well. Like people, I really don't understand that. People, they play arcade, and then they complain about the snipers. We tell them to try survival, but they don't want to farm.
And they don't want to play without snipers. They don't
Yeah.
want other people's snipers to be OP, only theirs.
Oh no, movement will stay like New Z, by the way. We're not gonna introduce.
Regardless of anything, the game engine, not the game mechanics itself will always be this. Otherwise, it's not Infestation. Period.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, people don't want to farm survival, but they don't want to play against snipers. I mean, that's the whole point of survival, that you have to farm and it's hard. Otherwise, there would be ARs and snipers everywhere, just like in arcade.
Yeah, and it's very unique. I think that's one of the most unique characteristics we have. It's dynamic, it's fast, it's fast paced.
Oh yeah, I love the New Z
it's
mechanics.
not as hard. Battlestar, I know you can skin a whole stack of something, but why it don't work with clan skins if you're in a clan? Because when you are in your GI, you don't have your character selected, so you can't skin it.
Yeah, true. I
When
mean,
you
that's
have
something we can fix by.
no,
'Cause, yeah.
no. I'll explain. No, because then someone invites them, they skin all the items in their GI, and then they leave clan.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, that's cheating.
Yeah.
No, but if
you're
you try to
cheating the
use
system.
a skin that you don't have, it unskins automatically when you join the server. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, true.
But it would be, what we could do is, because since when you skin an item, you're in your inventory, right? So you've obviously selected a character. So then what we can do is we could add the clan skins of the character where you're currently selected in the GI, and then allow you to skin that way. Yeah. Survival is just a complete different feeling from arcade. Yeah, but the only reason it's a different feeling is because
let me
because
just
of
put it
the
in
items.
yeah,
If
let
I
me
give you a
just put
million
it in
snipers and then you go play survival, it's gonna feel like arcade.
let me just put it in a simpler way, Fred, for them to understand. When we opened no sniper servers in open world back in the day in arcade, nobody played. We tried it. We tried. I mean, people complain about all the snipers, but they don't. Like I said, they want them to have snipers. They don't want others to have snipers. Freddy, this thing with reset arcade just to try and push people towards a direction is not a good idea. That's how it feels like, you know. That's what it feels like. It's being
Yeah. And
offered.
genetics. If we nerf the snipers, half the game is gonna stop playing
Yeah.
because some people
Otherwise,
just
people
like the
wouldn't use
snipers.
them. It's like the
Yeah.
shotguns. This is a discussion I had with the shotguns in survival. Okay, shotguns are annoying as hell. You know, they've always been an issue since the War Z. You know,
Oh no,
five
in
story
any game,
building. Yeah, yeah,
any
but
game.
shotguns are an ass. Okay, but too many people use it. If we simply remove them, those people are gonna be more unpleased than those who eventually die to a shotgun.
Yeah.
No, there's no three tap with the SVD.
I mean, if they heal after the first shot, yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Aim to the
heal.
head.
Yeah,
No, if I hit you in the
it's
chest
three
and you don't
shots.
heal,
Yeah, if it's only, or maybe with the new damage areas that you created, right? With the legs and arms.
oh yeah, yeah, true. You guys probably don't know this, but before, if you hit someone in the hand, it would count the same damage as in the body. And now I made it so hands and arms do basically same damage as feet. You see what I mean?
Lower legs.
Yeah, sorry, as your legs.
Yeah.
And you guys probably don't know that, but yeah, if you
I know what people are doing though.
no,
Yeah,
but
this is a,
killer,
people are probably jumping around, you know, spinning like fucking Beyblades, and
yeah,
they get hit on the arm, not on the body, you know. And then people think that
yeah,
they're hitting them on the body.
yeah, exactly. Like if you, yeah. No, the AWP was the best weapon. It's a shame that we nerfed it.
Yeah,
I'm putting it back
guys, we
how it
did.
was.
Yeah, yeah. Just so you understand, with the changes we did to snipers, we actually didn't nerf them. It's because of the new skill tree and how the new skill tree worked. It it ended up that the snipers were doing more damage than doing less damage than they should. But that was because of the skill tree. So we just made it. We changed the snipers just to adapt to accompany the skill tree. So in the
Yeah,
end, it's the
so
same
it's the
damage
same, right?
if you look at percentage. Just make every sniper do the same damage. Then what would be the point of having seven different snipers, Monkey? Yeah, that Axel asked about clan customization, and yeah, that's something already on my list for discussion that we're gonna do this, yeah, in the next few days. It's on my list already. We've talked about this briefly back in the day, but yeah, it's a great idea. Why top rank as Elite 1 do not have any rewards? Also on my list for discussion. I think these people are the same ones that put up suggestions on the website, and I have a huge list of them. But yeah, he's asking why ranks don't have skins, and yeah, that's something we should definitely change. Yes. Can we buy GC from market? No, you can only buy GC. The only legal place you can buy GC from is the website and Steam, period. Anything else is not buying GC at all. Okay? Just
No,
put that into your heads, guys.
and if
Whatever
you
it
get
is that
scammed,
you,
it's
yeah,
you're on your own. We're not
you're
gonna try
allowed
to
to
help you.
send GC to friends and whatever. Okay? And we do have a system for that, you know, with the email and stuff. That's why it goes through the email to avoid issues. But the goal for that is for friends and giveaways and stuff like that. It's not for sales or anything like that.
Yeah,
How arcade people will get in top 10 of all time after the release? The current top 10 have far. Yeah, that's the thing. We're gonna. That's one of the things we need to deal with
I mean,
the leaderboards,
he-
but the all-time one is hard.
yeah, Freddy, listen. The PvP servers, they're not gonna be removed magically. They're still gonna be there. People want to farm, stay playing there. I mean, it's a really small amount of players anyway that play PvP servers. If you look at the servers compared to all the other game modes, it's the tiniest of all almost. You know, and that's why this new game mode hopefully is gonna create a completely new experience that mixes the best of both worlds.
Oh, I couldn't
Basically.
find it. I couldn't find my suggestions file because I typed it suggestions. But I like this idea. Give leader and lobby. All right, I just wrote something down. Somebody add the option to give leadership to of a
Yeah,
group to a
because
person in the main menu when
yeah,
you're in a party.
that's wait, you cannot do that yet?
No, not give leadership.
Damn,
There's no
that
way
should
to
be an
give
easy
a
thing.
leadership anywhere.
Huh. That should be an easy fix. Anyways,
Mhm.
the double rep event. Yeah, but that's the thing. People just want to get on the leaderboards. You know, does it matter how you're in the leaderboards if it's because you have reputation or other points? No, it really doesn't matter. People just want to be in the leaderboards. It's like they want to show off, you know? So, yeah, we can just create a new ranking system or a new point system for the new game mode. We don't touch the old one. The old one's still going to be there.
Yeah, that's the
You know,
idea. That was my initial idea. You know, keep it there.
yeah.
You know, you keep your character, it's still there. Your character is still that eviscerator or whatever name Sven came up with. Like fucking dictionary mode. And and then you have a separate one.
Okay, the
Uh,
option to give the leader in the group in the menu, uh, I've written it down. It's gonna be done not for the next patch because the next patch is well. I'm not sure if what the status on it, but if not next patch, then the patch after it for sure. Super simple to add. So, Dragoon, the ETA is still unknown because we haven't that game mode hasn't begun its development yet. Because we were waiting for all the feedback before we start. You know, I don't want to start on something and then have to rebuild it again.
yeah, but we already have most of the systems. Yeah. But we'll see. Fred needs to at least start on it to know
Yeah,
an
yeah,
ETA.
yeah. Freddy D, the PvP servers are never are they're not gonna go anywhere. I mean, if they die one day and nobody plays it because everyone thinks the new game mode is more fun, yeah, okay, we'll remove them because there's no point.
Yeah,
But
but
we're not
competitive
gonna.
and warm up are gonna be cut.
No,
No, those two are gonna be removed
like
for the
like
new DM.
literally, don't worry. Like we're not gonna remove anything. We're literally giving you guys the option to move the PvP servers to a new system that makes more sense and that's easier managed by us, where you don't lose your items or loot. You understand? Basically.
Well, with survival, this is a very because I think let me just address something that Black said. Survival is in a very unique position right now, which is the game mode itself is at a very comfortable and good position. All in all, you know, it's balanced, it's fun. It's just the lack of people there. That's the only issue we have right now. And yeah, that's something unrelated to game development that needs to happen and needs to be dealt with. But it's not game development related, which is the part we're discussing here. I mean, if you guys do have suggestions and ideas for survival in general, just remember, guys, don't go far from the game mode itself, and don't think that we can simply, like we had suggestions about this, add artificial intelligence to, like actual players that are realistic. Look at how long it took Rust to make those robot walking AI. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. So yeah, but yeah, if you have any ideas on it, we will. We do want to focus more on survival in general, with the game development and the part that is not related to us right now. You will make sure that in the battle royale, holy shit, they give GD. Fred, what
Well,
happened to that?
that's something we talked about. People want to get GD because they want to use the GD in open world, for example. The biggest problem with that is that it doesn't make any sense that two game modes share the same currency, and that's why we're trying to find another solution for that in a way where you perhaps can exchange maybe your battery tokens for something else. But people playing, if you think about it, if you put a bunch of time into a game mode, you shouldn't be rewarded, or perhaps you shouldn't be have an advantage on a different game mode. So if I play a lot of BR, I shouldn't have more money in open arcade, because that's just wrong, right? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to find a solution for the uselessness of the battery currency, in a way where people don't feel the need that we need to change the currency. So we're
Can
still
you
working on a solution for that problem, but we haven't reached to one because it's a complex problem right now.
can you answer
Um,
what retired BK said, Fred? Because I'm tired of answering this on every Q&A.
uh, who? Oh, here. We, the clan leaders, have the same idea. That one?
Yeah. About macros.
Yeah. Okay.
Hold on, guys, turning off my
I
phone for 2 seconds. I'm still here. Go ahead, Fred.
The macro issue is a bit of a placebo problem. All right. So essentially, a lot of people think that macros make you shoot faster, but in reality, they don't. We actually did it ourselves. We had a player who had been reported for using macros before, and actually helped us test it. Okay, and we came to the conclusion that it took him actually took him more time to empty a Stanek 30 with a macro, with a rapid fire macro, than it actually took by just full autoing. What does happen is that when you shoot, because of the way the network system works in this game, when you shoot a lot of single bullets, it's like you're shooting them individually, right? But when you are full autoing, you're basically you're like start shooting, stop shooting, right? So what happens is when the network, network can experience packet compression. If you look at it in the timeline, because the network speed isn't constant, it's gonna vary. So sometimes the data from the server is gonna arrive to you quicker, and sometimes it's gonna like lag a bit. So then they arrive all at once, and that's why when someone shoots with a macro, it can sound like it's like all of a sudden like, but that's just at the end of the day, the bullets came at the same speed. You see what I mean? So having a rapid fire macro does not make you a better player. It just sounds weird, and it looks funny when you die, basically. But it doesn't give him any advantage, like that. And we've tested it. I promise. It's just visual and audio.
I timed it.
Yes.
I did it, and I heard the sound. Remember with the inventory?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it sounded like I was,
the sound.
rapid firing. Exactly. It sounded like I was, but at the end of the day, if you look at the time it took me to empty my mag, it was the same time, actually a bit slower than me just full autoing the weapon. It just has to do with the sounds of the game, basically.
Alright, Freddy, with no main changes, Survive an Arcade will die slowly. And I just addressed this, Freddy. The problem is, Freddy, right now you want a concise answer on what we're gonna do to survival, and right now, the idea is not like the changes are not planned, okay? But yes, we will continue working every game mode. It's not because we're gonna develop this new game mode that we're gonna stop or give up on any other game mode. That's not how it works. The thing is, we are a small team, and there's so much we can do at a time or in a period of time. Okay, but yes, survival, like I said, survival is our focus for the future. Um, Survival is the future, or I think it is.
Yeah,
Where
I agree. I think survival is the future. The problem is people don't want to farm survival, you know? And if and the only way to move players to survival would be essentially saying that they can, for example, trade in a thousand snipers or 1,000 ARs in arcade for like one. But the problem is, if we do that, there's people who have GIs that are just mind-blowingly stupid big, and it's just gonna ruin the survival economy. And that's the problem. People don't want to farm. Oh yeah, maybe people do that. Maybe like they trade, right? But then that means that there's still a limited supply across the whole game. If I give you a sniper in survival, there's not an extra sniper in the game. You see what I mean? There has to be a stable economy for the game to feel, like the game we want to have. Okay, but fine. But that's great that you have a different opinion. You're the first person who's ever come with anything else. I mean, if you have. Yeah, maybe we can add season wipes. I mean, my point is, you guys need, if you guys like want to really bring survival back and essentially try to get it to pop, just don't come with you have to come with like ideas. I mean, you can tell me, yeah, I don't like the gameplay, or okay, but what's the difference in the gameplay? I know that you play open world. Why do you think open world is better? you know
Yeah, like I said, I'd rather arcade is what it is, and it's gonna be what it is forever. Period. I
yeah,
think it
I
is
mean,
just
we
gonna be
cannot
a
yeah, the only
Beyblade
way
war
to
with guns.
yeah
And arcade, we can do a lot in it, and we do think that's where we can do more.
you
That
mean survival.
alongside, of course, yeah, survival and battle royale, we can still do more stuff there as well. One simple question: why you guys split the community so hard with so many game modes? Because okay, so it was a mistake we made. I'm not gonna deny that. But the thing is, we heard you guys when you guys asked for a survival game back in the day. We added it. You guys asked for a battle royale game mode. We added it. It is our fault. I'm not denying fault here. Okay, but we did what you guys suggested. You guys asked. You know, and the issue is that I'm not talking to anyone specifically here, just so you guys know. But you guys say, "Oh, I want a gameplay like survival, like old survival." So we went in that direction, but not everyone wanted that. A lot of people wanted to stay in arcade. If arcade was low and dead, survival would be extremely popped,
Yeah,
and that's not how it works. If
yeah, I
people
mean,
don't want to play survival, they're not going to play survival. And
yeah,
if we just remove arcade, like some people say, like that's how you're going to get survival, no, 90 or not 90, but I'd say 70 to 80% of those people from arcade are just going to quit the game and not move to survival. So there's not going to be any benefits to anyone, not in survival, not in arcade, not for the company, not for the community itself.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, uh, for example, Dryler wrote that There's not a lot of people in open world players left. Yeah, but open world players make up 80% of the New Z player base. Literally. Yeah, of course. Of course you don't have issues, but the problem is a lot of people have issues, whether the game has 1,000, 10,000, or 1,000,000 players online. I mean, the thing is, if you could guarantee, right, 100%, no doubt, that if we were to do a wipe or restart everything into one balanced game mode, that it would pop, which you can't, by the way, you can't guarantee. Maybe you would like the idea, and maybe a lot of your friends and a lot of people likes the idea and would love to play that. There are people who don't like it and are gonna leave, and risking that is way too big of a risk.
Yeah, look at what Red Energy said. He literally just said what he explained. Remove official, remove BR, and remove competitive. 100% focus on survival with all players united. The last part of your sentence is the key. With all players united. Can you
Yeah.
guarantee that 100% of them will be 100% behind it?
No, exactly. Like Hot since 82 said, like, you know, if we remove anything or touch anything or ignore anything and just focus on survival, people are gonna start leaving the game even harder. Like people are gonna, and people come and go. Actually, I've seen a lot of like trends. Like if I look at the last, let's take a look at the last 6 months. Okay, so the last 6 months, it literally went up, then a bit down, but then it catched up and went up again. Now it went down a little bit. It always goes up and down.
Yeah.
But it's literally been, I would say, back. Okay, so I don't know if you guys remember when we wiped Survival and did like a re-release of Survival. A lot of players were mad. A lot of players were mad, but honestly, Survival had even less players than today. Okay, so and you see that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna pop for a while if we wipe it, and then it's just gonna die out again. Unless we have a perfect game. And I mean, if we have a perfect game, then it should pop by itself. You shouldn't need a wipe. So then the plan should be, the idea should be to make that perfect game. But that does not require a wipe. It does not require, you understand, killing other game modes, because that's just plain stupid.
No,
It was
but
not ready for release. That too.
Guys,
I mean,
let me just make
that too.
something very clear, okay? I think this is very important to be said right now, Fred. Sorry for interrupting you. You guys have the right. You guys have your hearts at the right place, okay? You guys want the best, and we understand that. And like I said, I personally think survival is what will bring the best. Okay, let me just make that clear. But the solution is not as simple as just wipe arcade so people will jump over to survival. Freddy, you said you're an arcade player and you would go to survival, but you are one amongst a few because you love the game so much that if it were up to you, you would be playing survival. But arcade's more pop, so you're playing arcade because it's more pop. Okay, so you're loyal to the game, and we're grateful for people like that. But what I'm saying is, it's not like we would love to be able to take that risk, this leap of faith. But
Yeah.
it's not as simple as that because there will be. I mean, look at somebody just mentioned Ibiza. Ibiza was the one who forced us, kind of like, forced a hand on us and strongly suggested that we white snipers back in the days. I don't know if you guys remember that, 2016, 17.
And that
He was the
backfired
first
really
one
hard.
to leave. And he was the first one to leave after it was wiped because he didn't like the result, So, but the thing is, let me just put it back, okay? Right now, it's not about events specifically, though events would be great. Diablex. I'll take a look at those events later. It's about people sticking to it and trying to do that, and we as the development team working on new things to attract new players and marketing and people who can deal with this, deal with a little bit with marketing for the game, for survival specifically, etc. But yes, I mean, Banana Joe said, people saw that there wasn't content. The hype on Survivor Stories relaunch lasted what, 2 3 weeks. There wasn't enough time for people to say, oh, there's no new content. 2 3 weeks for no new content is not even a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Gordon, you are completely right. Not only different expectations, but different ideas as well. Just if you have the opportunity, take a look at the channel for the discussion we have about the deathmatch. We had people saying that that part of the idea was horrible, and then other people saying that part of the idea was great, and then them having discussions amongst themselves about their opinions. And as human beings, we always tend to think that our opinions are the best, which is natural. It's part of who we are. Survival isn't okay. This seems like constructive feedback. Survival isn't motivating enough to keep playing it all the time. The problem is that load is over repetitive. Besides, there's nothing else to do other than farm the same loot and PvP in Clearview. You need more randomized loot. High end loot shouldn't be that hard to get, apart from snipers. And definitely more missions and craftable stuff. Now, with the loot, I don't think there's any. There are very few games that have as many varieties of guns in open world games as we do. Okay, you cannot find that much. But like you said, the thing is, it's the same thing. You loot, but you know exactly what you want to loot. And that's why it ends up being repetitive. You want specific guns to loot. And maybe we can work on that direction. Okay, maybe we can make the other guns more useful, try to tweak it. So, because the variety is there, the problem is like half of them are useless to
Yeah.
players.
Maybe we can try to make SMGs and stuff like that useful in different scenarios. For example, rushing people in a market, they should be better than a AR at close range because that's what SMGs are for. That way, you've got the snipers for the long range. You've got the perhaps the ARs for medium to short range, and then obviously shorter range
They
shotguns
are
and
technically like that, but the problem is effectively they don't feel that way. I mean, they do feel that way. If you're in a close combat, one guy has an Nimitar and the other has a P90, they have the same chance of winning. But the problem is if the Imitar runs a little bit further, he's got the advantage. So there's
yeah.
that problem.
But at the same time, if someone rushes you with a P90 and you've got an M4, you shouldn't be able to win a fight as easily as if you were standing from far away. I think that would bring a completely new. But I would like to answer Freddy. He wrote that he has 100 players that want to come back to the game and play the game, but they say that 1,000 players is not enough for them. But here's the thing: you and probably a lot of people have 100 people, but unless they all join at the same time, nobody's gonna join. You see, it needs this snowball effect.
It's not only that. I mean, the sheer amount of players that you need, the total amount of players that you need in a game to play. I understand. The less players that the game has, the less visibility it has. That's obvious. I mean, that's a no-brainer. But I'm talking about, okay, you said you have 100 players who want to come to the game. If there are two popped servers and those players come, that's already four popped servers, and that's already enough PvP. to not meet the same guys over and over again. So that's why I think, people have, if you want to play like I said, and I'm not talking about attracting, about the marketing part of the game, okay? But if you actually want to play the game, and there are two pop servers, that should be enough for you to get back into it. And that creates the snowball effect Fred mentioned.
Right.
Lag switch is cheating, but the anti-cheat can't detect it. Yes, the anti-cheat can detect it. Period. So we can ban them. Period. Okay? Okay, what is the job of game staff and moderator? We never see them in game. They're not supposed to be seen in game. They
No.
help with everything related to game, but they're not there to be. Okay, think about this, Diablex. You can't have people watching over. Tell me one game that in the world, okay, that you have people being toxic, no reports happening, and people getting punished. That doesn't exist. Period. There's nothing.
I
We
mean, that's
can't
why
do
we have a
anything,
report system. If you
Yeah.
report someone, we go over the chat logs, we go over the anti-cheat logs. Depending on what you reported him from, and then if he did something, we ban him. He gets punished. And trust me, we go over the reports.
Yeah. RDK, just following up on that discussion we had about the loot. I mean, if you loot military areas for 100 hours and keep finding the same stuff, where's the fun in that? 2 logs. I mean, if you do anything for 100 hours in the same place, it's always going to bring the same result. Like you said, 2 logs in that amount of time. Okay, that's an issue. Okay, if that's the case, we'll look into that. But the thing is, you just want the AUG because you just mentioned the AUG. You probably found, let's say, 50 P90s, 30 EVOs, 40 scars, but you just want the AUGs. So if you just find the AUGs as well, if you increase it and you keep finding just AUGs but in a bigger number, there's also not going to be a motivation. And I agree we need the motivation. Okay, I agree we need something to motivate you more. But, it's not increasing the loot that's going to motivate you. No, I missed it, Battlestar. Can you repeat your post? Can anything be done with the mouse scripts that are being used in game to stop the gun spread? There's no way to stop gun spread. Gun spread server-sided. Is there people asking for an... fuck those people. Don't mind them. I think the ranking system should...
he means in arcade. Yeah, the ranking system in arcade is a mess. It needs a rework. I wholeheartedly agree with you, sir.
Yeah, it's kind of pointless, to be honest, the way it is.
Yeah, so
it's
a
easy
rework
to
for that
farm it.
is...
I'm not gonna say how, but it's easy for you to boost it.
Don't give them...
rented server for a month.
The trigger, are you talking about the new... Are you talking about the new Deathmatch? We're still not sure. It honestly doesn't matter how many. We can change that anytime.
Racism will cause a ban. Period. Okay, this is not a place for discussion for this. Okay. How many people in each team? That trigger 5 on the mode 5. I wanted to do something different. Jesus, this guy. The guy just mentioned Freddy. Do you think it's you? Oh, what an idiot. Yeah.
Wait, why did he get banned?
Oh, no, he's asking for an unban. He's just spamming for an unban, and then he mentioned Freddy D, thinking it was you. Asking for an unban.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, on Deathmatch, the idea is to have teams of 5. I wanted, like I said, I wanted to do 4 or 6 just to be different. But nobody likes my ideas. Help the new players and see what the clans abuse the new. That's the thing, TV Master Dragon. That's something, again, things that the community is doing to the community should be met with the community. Okay, so if a clan is being assholes to new players, why isn't your clan helping those new players? That's how you saved it. I've seen a lot of this happening. ISP is a clan that did that, surprisingly. Even being a huge clan in survival, they took in and helped a lot of people. That's one clan I remember that did that, you know? Is there a way you guys can make grinding for reputation easier? I'm not even gonna read the rest of the question, but I'm just gonna answer no. Reputation should not be grindable, and that's the issue. That's why we don't want to bring it to the new game because it's easily grindable already. Could Battle Royale get a small rework so single players get a higher score point, as it's almost impossible to win against a clan of four?
That's a really good point. That's a
We
really
can
good.
do something like that for
Yeah.
sure.
Let me write that down right now. Increase points if solo.
That's if you look, the guns. How do guns work in games? Okay, the first shot of the gun has a low spread, usually close to zero, a value very low. Um, the next, and then there's like, let's say, a level that keeps going up. Okay, so if you stop shooting, it starts going down. Okay, so the slower you shoot, the less spread you have. Okay, if you tap fast, even with a macro, it's still gonna go up because it doesn't register. It doesn't look at if it's automatic or just clicking. It's just gonna check if the time between shots. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and even if when you stop shooting, the spread doesn't start decreasing until like half a second to 1 second after. So you know how the spread increases as you shoot, and then when you stop shooting, it stays up there and then decreases. So even if you like shoot with a macro, unless you shoot really slow, like two, like at that speed, it's not gonna give it enough time for the spread to start decreasing. So what I think Diablex is talking about is controlling the recoil. But honestly, I don't understand why people need a macro for that. I can use my mouse and literally shoot straight without any macros as well. And also, what you have to think about, Diablex, if you have your weapon fully kitted with attachments, the bullets are like laser beams. They go straight, you know? Like, attachments are OP, man. You should give it a try.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there are. I'm not saying that they aren't using it. I'm just saying that it's not as simple as that. It's not like, yeah, they just use a macro and then they don't have any spread. Wait, I read something because the game is very good. I love it, but I'm back and I'm sorry for seeing matches with Infestation, stream sniping, and normal, but there should be some sanction or something for this time. There are ways for you to hide what server you're in, the region you're in. There are delays you can add, just like in any other major game that you can stream. God, these people. Good question.
Mirror
When are you
feels-
gonna remove and put other maps?
Yeah.
Probably this weekend. I find we're probably rotating maps this weekend for some of them. No, it's not that it's allowed, Josh. Like I said, if it's abusive, if it becomes abusive, yeah, there can be punishment. But the problem is people always assume that people are
They're
stream
getting stream
sniping.
sniped, yeah.
Yeah,
But also, on the
giving
other
them
hand,
the attention is what they want. Okay, they're not stream sniping you. Just understand, people who stream snipe, they don't stream snipe you for your loot to kill you. They stream snipe you for your reaction. If you have no reaction, if you give no fucks, they stop.
But yeah, I mean, stream sniping is an issue in any game, and we've added many methods for you guys to enable streamer mode. And it's also your responsibility as streamers to try to hide what server you're playing on. Obviously, it doesn't make it easy if it's low pop times where there's only maybe a handful of servers that are popped. You know, eventually they're gonna find you. And the community is a very, it's relatively small, of course, but at the same time, it's everybody kind of knows everybody. You know, like I recognize names in game all the time, right? And I'm not that crazy of a player like, for example, Afine over here. You know. Um, but yeah, it's extremely hard. Exactly, like Afine just said. Stream sniping is inevitable if people really want to troll you. I mean, at the end of the game, it's a free game. It's a free world. People can just make accounts, and it doesn't matter if we punish them. I mean, we punish them; they just create a new account. You know,
No,
or
I'm not against punishment. That's not what I'm against, Josh Rank. Just don't get me wrong on this. The problem is how can you be sure the person is stream sniping you? You know, that's the issue. That's the issue. Detecting it. Yeah, exactly. If you sub the you guys who stream should do a campaign, you know? Sub to me and you can stream snipe me as much as you want.
Fredaikis, is a question for the FPS drop freezing or is it computer malfunction? Well, the game running in a normal state without any external plugins. So, for example, without any reshade, any like weird overlays, Discord overlay, all these things, the game standalone should not freeze or stutter or drop FPS by itself. If you're having freezes or stutters or FPS drops, make sure your CPU or GPU isn't thermal throttling as well. Make sure you don't have any like spam programs or bloatware on your computer, like all these overlays and like DirectX tuning software, all that stuff. Just close it or remove it. But I have a pretty clean PC. I don't have that much stuff installed, and Newsy runs great for me. And same thing for all the computers in our office. Newsy, and that one is even like an old i5 that barely runs anything else, and it works perfectly. So.
Hold on. Josh Rank, just let me just address the end of that part with Stream Snipe. And like I said, I know it happens. It happens to me as well. It kills the fun. I agree. But what I'm saying is, you said there was a clan of 10 following you. Okay? But there are too many aspects to that. What if they saw you spawn in? I'm not talking about any specific cases. But what I'm saying is the punishment will happen if it's obvious. Okay, if we can see that it happened. Okay, one of
Right.
the ideas is if you want to clip it, you spawn in instantly, lay down, hide inside a rock. If they follow you, send me the clip. That's proof they are stream sniping you. They will be temporarily punished. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Now,
it's extremely hard to prove in a game where you're supposed to kill people. What happens if someone kills you? How do you know he's stream sniping you? I mean, you'd have
yeah,
to go
Josh
through
Wayne.
every of your
And where did you report that? I'm just waiting because you got to report. Just send it to. When it comes
I
to
mean, if you're a
to the
streamer, you
mods,
probably
who?
have access.
To whom?
Yeah. If you're a partnered streamer with us, for example, you
He's
have
not anymore.
direct channels. You have direct channels to be able to contact us, and when we
But
can,
was Murky
deal with-
online at all at the time you reported it to him? Yeah, you can just message me, or just send me if I'm around, I'm gonna deal with it at the time. I'm gonna check it.
Yeah.
There are ways I can check. Otherwise, yeah, we will when it's cases like you mentioned, that's obvious stream sniping. That's obviously being
Right.
punished. Okay.
I would like to answer Freddy D's question. Is there a possibility to fix the game so the game doesn't crash when you're on full screen if you tab out? So here's the deal. DirectX 9, which is what Newsy runs on, has what I probably a technical limitation because DirectX 9 is actually pretty old if you guys think about it. I mean, when did they even release? I don't know, 2008 or something. DirectX 9 release date 2002. Oh wow, that's old. Okay. So probably because of technical limitations, when you, for example, tab out on full screen and tab back in and stuff like that, right? What happens is you have to reset the device. It's called. So every time you get that black screen, when you're in the middle of tabbing in, tabbing out, and stuff, you have to like reset the DirectX device. Okay, this may be a bit complicated for some of you, but essentially it just means that I literally have to unload every single texture, reset the device, and then load every single texture again. It's super stupid, and that's why old games, when you tab out, it takes a while because it has to reload all these textures. Whereas DirectX newer games, you can tab out in full screen and it's instant because they probably developed a way around this. You see, a new solution to this problem. For example, not having to load the textures or somehow caching them or something like that. So yeah, it's a limitation of DirectX 9, and right now the engine that Newsy runs on has this bug that a texture gets lost, and so when you tap back in, something goes wrong, and I haven't been able to figure out what it is because it's extremely hard to troubleshoot. But
Yeah, let me just add something because
yeah,
this guy asked. Because he said sometimes it doesn't crash. It's because, like Fred explained, that DirectX how it behaves. If you alt tab to an empty window, you're not gonna crash when you go back to the game. But anything that will use your video card will most likely crash you, but
no, it's
not all.
actually I don't think it has anything to do with that. It has to do with the way the game loaded textures. So if you were to load into, for example, okay, let's just say that the texture leak issue is on decals, like sprays, for example. Things that attach to, or like when you shoot a bullet, it leaves a decal on the wall, right? Which is basically a bullet hole. And those things and sprays and all these things are called decals in games. All right. And imagine there's a leak in the decal textures. So if you join a server, nobody sprays anything, nobody shoots anything, and that map has no static decals, you know, on the walls and whatnot. And then you log out, and then you tab out, then it might be fine. But the moment someone shoots and leaves a bullet hole on the wall, or in the technical term would be a decal of a bullet hole, then maybe that's the one that's screwing things up. But I haven't been able to track down the issue. I've looked into it many times because as much as I want to get it fixed, I also want to stop receiving messages about the tapping out problem. And I've actually tried many times, but it's extremely hard to diagnose. But I actually just got an idea that might just help me figure it out. So yeah.
Yep.
When did I change? Oh, those wallpapers aren't. That's just like our meeting TV.
I mean, look at how old that TV is.
Yeah, it's literally like
You
I
can
had
see
it
how
laying
old it
around.
is just by the border. It's just like
Yeah,
the one I have. I'm not judging. I have one of that.
Look at the bezel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm talking. But mine is the one I'm looking at you right now that I'm using for the stream, my fourth
Yeah,
screen, is one just like that. So
yeah.
it's not even LED, it's LCD.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's pretty old. Well, I think it was Banana Joe who asked who worked. No, Banana Joe. It's just a Google Chromecast. But in case you're wondering, that's Elias. The desk behind me, one of them is Elias, and the other one is essentially Steve's when he's here in Sweden working from the office.
Yeah, and I stay in the bathroom because yeah, they don't like me there. No, but when I'm in Sweden, I use the part right next to Elias.
Yeah. Uh, I am
Right.
gonna take a. I'll be back
I
in a
think
minute.
yeah, I think I'm just gonna end. I don't think there's anything left to talk about. Do you guys have any more questions? All right, Josh. Yeah, Fred, you can go. Whatever, take a PP or something. I'm probably just gonna answer these last few questions.
Yeah, don't end the stream until I'm back, because I'm sure there's gonna be some extra
Yeah,
questions.
for
All
sure,
right,
for sure. All
one
right.
sec. Be right back, guys.
Josh. So yeah, the idea with the events are great. I mean, we do have stuff similar to that already, if you think about it. But yeah, we can expand on that. You know, like we have the heli crashes, we have the alien zombies, you know, the slicers. They kind of work like that if you think about it. Is there a possibility to change the engine? There is a possibility, of course, but I don't know if you guys know anything about game development, but changing changing the engine would mean literally making the game from scratch. Okay, remaking the game on a there's no way to migrate, unfortunately, like some games can do with Unreal and stuff. It would be good to invite. This is another thing, Master Dragon, like I mentioned before. You know, yeah, invite people. That's something. How can I make people move their servers? That's not how it works. Some things, some things are just haven't to either happen naturally or internally. You know, people have to do those things on their own. That's gotta come from the community. Chupa, have someone standing behind you. Hey, fuck you. Goes behind me. Nah, they won't change the engine, bro. We don't have enough layers. So. TV skin box, you can get them by watching this stream right now. Unfortunately, right now, Twitch changed their drop system, so we cannot have it for hours and hours like we had before. Herbert Richards, no, that's not a good idea at all. Like Silent said, you know, that would be just worse. We do want to do more stuff with Battle Royale. Like that, you know, better loot. I think that's one thing that's kind of driving people away, and we'll try another event this weekend. What is your favorite Pokemon, Chupa? Chikorita. Because it looks like a dick. Hey, Fred.
Interesting topic.
Yeah,
I
somebody
just
asked me
came
that.
back to.
I don't even
Very
know.
interesting
Does
indeed.
Chikorita? Am I thinking of the right one? Yeah, yeah. Okay, good. I don't know. I just had, you know, how am I gonna answer that question seriously? What's your favorite Pokemon? Or maybe Snorlax because I kind of look like it. Oh, there goes Fred. Did Fred die? Hello?
My
Oh,
bad.
okay. All right, so there hasn't been any questions since you left, just joke questions. What is your favorite feature in
What,
yourself? My
what do you
belly.
mean,
Definitely my belly. It's like it's the size of a person.
Banana Joe? What do you mean blockchain games? Someone stole my stuff?
Red Energy, we don't have any contact with any of those guys at all. We've never, I mean, Sergey a little bit business stuff, but Duke, Artemis, we never even talked to them at all.
I'm actually
But they have
total.
nothing to do with our game at all. Any of
Yeah,
them.
but I actually know zero about crypto. So that's something I really have to read on to understand.
That's something he picked up on another game and is posting it everywhere.
Maybe.
No, that's what Simon said in chat. I would like to say thank you for the update. We'll keep trying. Yeah, we'll keep trying to improve the game. We will do stuff to survival, guys. Just remember that, okay? I just said we don't have anything specific planned, but we are gonna deal with that for sure.
Turn up the sound, you better get down. Listen to this, let's try to turn